Welcome back, folks. We're in episode 8 now of our series on TEW 2020. Nearly in the double digits, so we're getting there. We've had a few comments in some of the last videos, positive ones, some good feedback. So we're going to look at trying a few things to increase the popularity. Thanks to Red Hill for the feedback on that. Appreciate that. As the game's still new to me a wee bit, so I'm still learning as I go, really. On this one, we'll do the Epic in Edinburgh. We've managed to book a venue in Edinburgh for that one now because we can actually afford it without it costing too much money. And yeah, we'll do the mid-month show as well. Just trying to get that popularity up so we can get a TV deal and stuff and start progressing. But thanks very much for all the likes, views, subs, all the rest of it. If you're enjoying the series, please like, subscribe, comment. I will reply to all the comments as well. It is greatly appreciated, and I do. I'm glad that those people are actually enjoying the series as well. So thank you very much, folks, and enjoy this episode. Right, okay, so we'll go over a couple of the new signings we made. We did say at the end of the last video we'd make another couple of signings just so that some of the guys we're trying to push don't need to take defeats where possible. We did offer Carmel Jacob a new contract, trying to get her to do some wrestling, but she's not interested. We can't release her because it will piss off Liam Thompson, so we're only paying her per appearance. So if she's not making appearances, then it's not going to cost us any money. But we did bring in who else did we bring in? We brought in Kenta. This is for the global conflict event because we're trying to have that event where we're bringing in a few wrestlers from who are well known kind of in America and kind of like in like other parts of the world, basically. So we've got Kenta. We also brought in Amazing Red, and we brought in Mark Stone. So that's just a couple of people. We'll throw them in a few matches for the main event, and they're going to be jobbing to our guys, as bad as it sounds, but we're not going to hire somebody in for one appearance who's going to beat one of your guys. So they'll be wrestling our top guys and losing, as you probably would on someone's home turf anyway when you're not signed in a contract. We brought in Alistair Adams. He's another guy, he's a decent wrestler. It's just another one in just to kind of eat some pins and stuff like that. We brought in Chris Ridgway, who looks like a really good wrestler here. He's not well known at all in Scotland, but he's well known in England. Well, more well known in England and Japan. So he's a good wrestler. We'll get him into the roster normally. I think he's going to be one that's actually putting on some good matches for us and be a good member of the team. Who else? Felix Fortune's another Scottish wrestler. Again, someone else who's decent and can kind of just eat some pins maybe and lose a few matches there. Jason Reed's another one. Again, good worker. Might be worth pushing. We'll see what the kind of match ratings are, but I mean the basic sell and consistency stuff's all really good. So that's not too bad for him. And try to think if we signed anyone else. Lana Austin's another woman we added to the roster there. She's a really good worker, based from down south. Not very well known in Scotland, but she's good. So we can build her up so that she's got some popularity. Who else did we bring in? We brought in Noam Dar, but we covered that in a previous episode. And Taonga, I think, is the only other one. Again, another female wrestler, just to beef up the numbers because we had an injury. And Carmel Jacob wasn't good. And we did release somebody who was injuring the other workers, so we had to get rid of them as well. So that's just a recap on the roster. We have got one offer in for another one, April Davids. She, again, really good. Well, good worker, yeah, I would say so. A lot of gains there. So she's put on some decent matches. Not very well known in Scotland, but there isn't a lot, sorry, that aren't signed with the WWE at the moment who are Scottish anyway. So that's the roster recap anyway, so we'll move on to the show. Right, okay doke folks, so here we go with the mid-month show. Started off with the usual Grado angle that we do, warms up the crowd, as you normally see in kind of independent shows. And what I did do with this one is we actually held it in Studio 24 in Edinburgh, because I figured because the next big event's in Edinburgh, we may as well like do the pre-show in Edinburgh as well, just to build up a wee bit of momentum in there. So we actually had a bigger attendance of 92 people. That was based on feedback we got, or a bit of tips we got from Red Hill Eagle. Check out his YouTube. That basically if we did the tickets for free, we would get a higher attendance, which means the popularity would go up quicker and then the sponsorship goes up a bit quicker. So we're going to test it out by maybe doing the mid-month shows for free, and then the events with a cheaper ticket price, just so we still make a wee bit more, try and offset some of the money that way, because we don't want to lose too much money if possible. But we got this one started off with 41, which is good. We get 2 new women signings. Actually, I didn't go through the signings actually. What I'll do is I'll record that and then I'll stick it in before this part. But we did sign a few new people for the roster. So we signed a couple of new ladies. We've got Lana Austin versus Taonga. It was a decent wrestling, little heat. Wasn't a great performance by Taonga. She was quite off her game, which is not great for a debut. But Lana Austin had a good performance, which that'll do. It's like 25 is good. We just needed to beef up the kind of ladies' numbers because we didn't have a lot. And we had an injury with one of them as well, so we can move on. Craig Anthony beat Dickie Divers. Craig Anthony was just needing a win just for his momentum. Dickie Divers is probably not unhappy because he's not won a match, I don't think, since he was here. It was a 23. He wasn't the worst match, wasn't the greatest match. Just kind of, we'll maybe use these mid-month shows for some of the guys who are needing a win, just to give them a win, just so they can get boosted and they don't kind of lose all the time. Next one, we've got Adam Shame losing to Davey Blaze. Again, Davey Blaze was needing a win. His momentum had cooled a little bit. Adam Shame is still never putting it in a performance of over 20 at all. So we're just going to get that out of him, I think. So we'll kind of try and use him sparingly. Got a 23 segment rating, which is still pretty decent. And the main event was Kez Evans and Chris Renfrew versus BT Gunn and Liam Thompson. The bout of great wrestling and good heat. Chris Renfrew defeated BT Gunn and Liam Thompson. Well, Kez Evans, and Chris Renfrew, 14 minutes 31 seconds. Chris Renfrew didn't put a great performance in, but he still put a 36 in, so that's pretty good. Kez Evans, we got everyone pretty much in that kind of match were good. BT Gunn and Liam Thompson are good as a team. We're just going to have to ignore the road agent stuff because we're going to get that anyway. But the 32 rating, so we'll finish the show and see where the final rating landed. A 31. So the 31 increased the popularity in one region, and that'll be Scotland. So that's good. We want to keep doing that. 31's good for a mid-month show, so we'll take that then. We'll move on and we shall get to the full event next. Okay folks, we're back for the big event then. This is the Epic in Edinburgh event, so we're going to book Studio 24 in Edinburgh again for that one. Popularity is a 12, I think that's gone up again. Or were we at a 12 the last time? I think it might actually still be a 12. I can't remember, it's creeping up, So, let's go ahead and book this full show. I think what we'll do is we'll book the main event. We'll book Chris Renfrew to defend his title against, let's think, somebody who's good that could take a loss. Because we don't want him. So we're getting a couple of them that are irritated because they've been left off the mid-month shows, but I just won't be able to put them all on the mid-month shows. We don't want to put Noam Dar in there because we don't want him to lose that match. What about Ravy Davy? Yeah, you can have a title match with Ravy Davy, there you go. We'll just have him defending the title. I do need to actually work out some new feuds and stuff like that. So what we'll do is we'll stick Chris Renfrew in as a victor in this one. We will book Grado in for his usual opener of the show. I was having a think, and I don't know if we'll actually move Grado on from being the kind of GM type role. I'm not sure what we'll do with him down the line. He's the most charismatic Scottish person that we've got. He's quite over as well, so he is really good to use in that particular role, because you guarantee is a good rating for all of his segments. So yeah, Grado opens the show, hypes up the crowd, hypes the crowd up for Epic in Edinburgh. That's what we called this one. Right, it's a nice easy one to book. Yep. Let's see, what else can we add on to this one then? Let's do, we've got some debuts. Let's get some women's matches in here as well. So we've got a couple of debuts to go. I'm kind of holding off on doing the storylines or the kind of feuds and programmes, because we wanted to kind of wait until we've got some TV, because if you're kind of trying to do it once or twice a month to forward on a feud, it's not really working that well, whereas you don't have the time to invest like a weekly back and forth between two different workers. So try and kind of stick to overall generic ones until we get to kind of tiny, and then we maybe look at a TV show at that point. So let's put in Debbie Dahmer. Let's put her in for a title defence against she's fought Jokey recently. Let's put her against one of the new girls. Debbie Dahmer's at face as well, so let's go with Taonga, and she didn't have a great match in the last one, so we'll test her out. Let's make that a short match, because I'm pretty sure the ring psychology isn't great. Let's go for a pinfall win on this one. Okay, doke. That will do. Move that up. Right, let's see, who else can we get in the match? Let's get Mikey Whiplash, because he is popular and we want to keep him. Who can he get a win over? Do you know what? I don't know what I've clicked there. There we go. Yeah. Who can he get a win over? Krieger's just literally lost every match, though. I don't know if I want to keep destroying the guy, because he is a pretty decent worker. Yeah, he's not somebody I want to keep losing. Let's go with Alistair Adams. Can eat a loss there for that. We'll put in Mikey Whiplash. It'll be a lot better when we get into the TV show, because we can then we'll be booking with a thought process in mind, you know, like we'll be booking like interferences and backstage angles and all that kind of stuff. We'll say backstage angles, but you know what I mean, like brawls and interviews, that kind of stuff. Let's actually add an interview in. What we'll do is we will get Kez Evans. He's pretty good on the mic. He can hype up a match. We'll stick him in with a match with one of the other new guys, Felix Fortune, and we'll just put Billy Kirkwood on the interviewing. Take him off there. He's just hyping that upcoming match because he's pretty good. So, and then we'll add that match in. Kez Evans is someone we're going to do a slow burn with. He's getting quite over. He's 22. Out of the rest of them, he's kind of mid to top. Let's go Kez Evans winning that one. Pinfall. He's a really good worker, so I had a really good idea that kind of down the line when we make him the top guy, we can kind of have him like, I mean, I had this really good idea for him having a great feud with like Drew McIntyre, but the thing with Drew McIntyre is it's kind of reliant on whenever he does get released from the WWE, if he does get released from the WWE. So we're kind of like at this idea where he's like got this problem with Drew because he's like, well, you've been away from the Scottish wrestling scene for so long, you can't just come back and expect to be the top guy. I'm the new top guy, and they could have a nice battle between them about the new top guy and the former top guy, if that makes sense. That was a good idea down the line, but yeah, that's going to be a case of, we could probably run the same kind of program with loads of the different Scottish guys that get released from the WWE, like Joe Coffey, Mark Coffey, Wolfgang. When they get released, and if they come back to work in Scotland, they can be like, well, you were left for bigger things, you can't just come back and be the top guy. So it could be interesting, some interesting feuds out of that. Right, let's give some wins. I think Lewis Girvan, right, he's getting back on some good work. Right, Leighton Buzzard, I think those two would be a good feud to have as well at some point. Right, so I had an issue where basically I had signed Amazing Red to do the Global Conflict show, and then I got notification after the mid-month show that he had left, and I didn't realise that he was also a road agent. So we've used him as a road agent, and he's then left because he's had his one appearance, if that makes sense. So I'll need to bear that in mind. Let's ask these boys to go all out because they're very good, the two of them. And we'll put Lewis Girvan over. So yeah, in fact, can we just get them to go a little bit longer? What is the stamina like? Let's have a look. So stamina's really good. What about Leighton Buzzard? The fifth stamina's really good. Yeah, let's throw them in a big long match. Let's see how they go with 15 minutes. We want to give them time to try and kind of flesh out the match. Who's losing a lot? Let's go. What about? Nah, looking sharp. Let's do a tag match. 2v2. We'll go looking sharp. We'll go Jason Reed. Krieger. Let's give Krieger a win because he is good. I don't want to keep getting him to eat losses. What about Stevie James? Yeah, right. Let's go tag match. Stevie James is a tag specialist, so let that go 15 minutes. We'll give Krieger the win. No, let's give Liu King the win. And we can have Stevie James eating the pin. Okay, dope, yep. Right, that's fine. The road agents, that's kind of the best thing we'll get with the road agents. There's not really much we can do. I need to double check that Amazing Red's not, and Martin Stone as well. We don't want him being the road agent at all because that'll. I need to untick their Martin Stone. Yeah, I need to untick that for them so that I can't accidentally use them. Because we don't want to be wasting them. Right, that's them off. We need a storytelling match as well, so what about, let's test out something with two people who have got really good ring psychology. Yeah, April Davids is in as well actually, so let's get her in a match. Let's get Chris Ridgway in a debut match as well. So Davey Blaze has got good psychology and don't want to use Kenta right now. Right, Liam Thompson, Davey Blaze. Let's book them for a storytelling match. I want to just test. I don't know if this works for sure. I know that it can be used. Well, I now know that it can be used for stuff like if people are having like a losing streak and stuff like that. I kind of want to see if having good ring ring psychology would help it be a better match rating. I would work better for it, so we'll stick that early in the card actually. Still got plenty of minutes to use up, so let's go for Chris Ridgway. Let's get him in for a match. Who can he beat? Dickie Divers is pretty decent actually. Who can he win against? Possibly Kieran Kelly, maybe. I really need to decide who can just lose matches. Oh, we just make them go back and forward, but he can't lose his first match. That's just not how it works. Should we give him a win over Kenny Williams? Let's go. Do you know what? Let's throw him in with somebody with a technical masterclass and just see how it comes out. Because he could go in with Miles Kamen or Craig Anthony actually. Yeah, right, let's do that. Let's put that as a technical masterclass. I've never used it. 15 minutes. This is where it would tell me that they don't have the stamina for it. We'll put Chris Ridgway into 1. No, let's let us book that. Alright, let me just double check. Yeah, we don't want the... We're using a lot of longer matches which are going to cause us to... I'll use up a lot of the time. So who's not been booked in this one? Let's get a women's match in. Let's get a women's tag match in. We've not had enough of them in to try and go with a ladies match. So we've got April Davids. I can't actually because Debbie Dahmer's already in a match, isn't she? And I don't have enough. Well, I've got an injury. Yeah, right, okay, that's fine. We'll just go 1 versus 1. Let's give April Davids a victory on her debut against Jockey. And let's go with Victor, April Davids, and we'll go pinfall victory for that. And we'll just have that done. So let's just push that further up the card. Could probably squeeze in maybe 1 or 2 more matches if we make them shorter, unless we shave off some time from one of the other matches. So let's have a look and see. Right, do we need to have another angle here? Probably. Right, we'll go 1 angle, 1 match. Who's not on the show? BT Gunn, probably. Get him in. Noam Dar. Give Noam Dar a win over BT Gunn. Yeah, let's do it. Can see him not being happy with that, but we want to build Noam Dar up to be right. Okay, to be a good kind of big name. Right, let's see. Who it was? Grado, wasn't it? Grado on microphone, BT Gunn, and Noam Dar. Rate them on just overness because they're both quite over. Let's see. Can't do that. Okay. Grado announces match between BT and Noam Dar. That's just to cheese a good rating, basically. Let's put that right before that match. Right, so that's us basically hit the limit of the minutes. Unless we shaved off some minutes from other matches, but I did want to test out longer matches to see if they get a better rating out of them. So we're going to have a few people pissed off that we're not in the show, but not really much we can do about it. So how's the card looking? Grado opening the show, Liam Thompson, Davey Blaze, Debbie Dahmer and Taonga. I'm going to actually quickly just double check that I'm not using the dearer guys. I mean, the guys we hired for Global Conflict are quite expensive, so I don't really want to be using them when they're not even wrestling, because we're not even going to get the benefit out of them. Yeah, it looks good. I think I've managed... Ah, yes, there's one there. Chris Ridgway's been used too much. It's because that match is too long, isn't it? Can't have that as a technical masterclass if it can't be that long then. Let's just make it a submissions match then. It's a bit of a shame. Oh, I can't. I need to change the actual match, don't I? One versus one. Let's change it to a submissions match. Yeah. And then pick that as a regular match. Yes. Let's see, am I still using them too much? Right, I need to advance one storyline. Who have we got? Davey Blaze. Where's Davey Blaze? Liam Thompson, he's not on there unless I add him in actually. Yeah, just add him in. And we'll add BT Gunn to that as well. We'll rejig them. We'll take Chris Renfrew off because he is the title holder, and we'll just kind of get a lot of them going for the top guy, basically. Just trying to, or fighting for the number one contendership kind of thing. Because the tournament is something we did at the very start of the game. Right, a quick double check to make sure we haven't used someone we shouldn't have as a road agent, so I can tick it off before the next event. Yep, so far so good. Yep, so far so good. Yep. Yes. I need to slow down on my booking. I'm trying to book too quickly and I'm missing all this stuff. Right, yeah, we're good. Right, let's start the show. So, freestyle segment, Grado opens the show. Didn't spell that right. Hypes up the crowd for the Epic in Edinburgh featuring Grado, right? Improvised well throughout the segment. 46, good start. Got the crowd hotter and got the show off to a strong start, so that's exactly what we wanted. Liam Thompson and Davey Blaze was a 31. 32 for Liam Thompson, 31 for Davey Blaze. It was a decent match. Doesn't sound like there was any heat to it. And a decent match. Debbie Dahmer defeated Taonga in 8 minutes. Did I put that as an 8-minute match? I think I did because of the stamina, actually. Taonga didn't have a great it was slightly better, but she did an 18 in her first match and a 19 for this one. Lou King, Sharp and Krieger defeated Jason Reed and Stevie James, and about the good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd, Lou King, Sharp and Krieger defeated Jason Reed and Stevie James in 14 minutes and 33 seconds. Lou King, Sharp had a good result there, a good performance. So did Stevie James, actually. So possibly Stevie James is up for some praise again. That was a rubbish match, that one. They had good chemistry as well. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Alistair Adams, also known as Alistair Karen, wears a mask type thing, so we could have them kind of go with a feud, who's the monster type thing, because they've got good chemistry. It wasn't a good segment rating, but it could probably because Alistair Adams isn't very over. But 26 is still not too bad for us. April Davis beat Jokey. It was a decent match. Davis won in 10 minutes with a performance of a 23. So they didn't have good chemistry between them. So probably, but beg your pardon, won't have them kind of together that much. And that's just, our gimmick kicks in anyway. Chris Ridgway and Craig Anthony was a very good match. A 36. Craig Anthony wasn't great. It's probably because he's a bit upset just now. Chris Ridgway was a 41. So Stevie James and Chris Ridgway is who we'll give the praise to first of all. It was good wrestling. Didn't have much heat, but that's because Chris Ridgway isn't well known. Oh right, okay. So this wasn't great. I mean, it was 21 wasn't too bad, but Kez Evans and Billy Kirkwood were a bit hit or miss here. So it's trial and error still. We might just give Kez Evans, I think he's got good charisma and stuff, so we can just give him free rein to do his own stuff without an interviewer. I just thought the interview would maybe boost it a little bit. So Kez Evans beat Felix Fortune, pretty standard match. He was actually pretty good. Did a 40 and Felix Fortune did a 19. Segment rating of 28. And this is when Grado announced the match between BT and Noam Dar. Segment rating was the 32. Grado was just enjoying it, and the other two are booked into a match, which was a good match. The Champagne Super Knee Bar, Noam Dar was brilliant. BT Gun was good. Segment rating is a 34. Nice. Leighton Buzz and Lewis Gibson. That could have been a better match. Lewis Gibson's off his game. I don't know if he's still annoyed. I think that's contributed to that. It was a good match. Segment rating was a 31. Chris Renfrew and Ravy Davey in the main event for the title. Good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd. Chris Renfrew won the match nicely. A segment rating of 29, still the champion. Goes on to the next event. Total overall rating was a 31. I think we'll give the praise to, was it Noam Dar, Chris Ridgway and Stevie James. So we'll go Noam Dar, Chris Ridgway and Stevie James. Noam Dar was pointed out as a good example. Complimented a good performance. Perfect. So we'll move on then and we'll just do a recap towards the end of the episode now, folks. Right, let's recap the month then. Financially, how did we do? We lost 2,241 quid.
He's losing me money.
That would be the show costs been slightly up from the month before, probably to do with using the guys we used. We're still sitting decent, 65,000. We did get not quite as much sponsorship money, so it's actually gone down since we were, but that's because we were on YouTube at that point. So we would have gotten more sponsorship money through the YouTube. So that's just going to be the way it works, unfortunately. Not much we can do about that. If you look into that, the venue hires cost us more, 200 quid more. The overall is just kind of, it's 150 a show for the production anyway, so just really depends on the venue hire. If we can get somewhere nice and cheap, then we should be doing that. So let's go to that. So financially not great, but it's not a lot. We've went up to 12 in Scotland. I think we were still at a 12 anyway, so we've still got another bit of grinding to do. I think we'll leave the ticket prices the way they were. We did get 97 people, I think it was, at the last event. Just tell you what the thing. Yeah, 94 people. We had 92 people, so we're getting near 100. It was doubling. That show was free. This one was very. Oh shit! Do you know that was free as well? Do you know I forgot to change that? Oh right, okay, that makes sense. That'll be why. I actually meant to make that very cheap in time for that event, but no matter. We didn't lose too much money, so nothing really on the news. Jordan Devlin's contract's expiring, JD McDonough, so if that expires, we'll be looking to try and sign him, but we'll need to wait and see if his demands come down. But so that's that month. The next event we'll be back for, we'll do War, obviously, in the middle of the month, and then it'll be the Global Conflict show. So we'll see you back for that one, folks. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one.